Hi everyone, welcome back. Today is going to be something I'm going to be doing over the next few weeks, and it's just a full face of makeup that I'm thankful for. Makeup that when I see it, when I use it, it just makes me feel good, and just those special products that, not that I don't love all my makeup because I do, but there are certain things that when I open a drawer and I see it, it just gives me those really good feelings. If you love makeup like I do, I bet you know what I mean. But I just pulled out a bunch of things that I love so much and that I'm just so grateful for, and use them all to create this look. If you're new here, my name is Blair. I do all kinds of beauty and makeup content here on YouTube every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I hope you will stick around and subscribe, but let's go ahead and get into the video. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get started. Today I pulled out a bunch of makeup that when I look at it, I just feel like that warm, fuzzy feeling. I just feel very grateful that I have these things. That's kind of something I've talked about that I wanted to focus on this month, and not so much about everything that's new coming out and all the sales going on and just all that, because I could talk about this forever, but I feel like with social media, how it is now, we all tend to sometimes get kind of swept up in the latest thing and what's new and what's on sale, and you know, it's just one thing after the next. And I love that stuff, don't get me wrong, but sometimes it's nice to just find happiness in the things that you do have, and that can apply to makeup or anything else in life, really. These are not the only products I have that I love and I feel this way about, but I'm going to be doing a few of these videos over the next few weeks, and we're just going to focus on things that we have and the things that we're thankful for. So we're going to get started, and the first product that I am 150% thankful for is my Patrick Ta brow wax. I love this stuff. Every time I use it, I just like how it makes my brows look. Always. It never lets me down. I also kind of want to talk about not even just products that you're thankful for, but just other things in life that you're thankful for. And it could even be related to beauty, but I think it's also important to, I know we all have bad days sometimes, and myself included, I'm sure a lot of other people do this that film YouTube videos, but sometimes you have a bad day and you'll be sitting there editing and you just pick yourself apart and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't like this about my face, I don't like this about my skin, I don't like this. But sometimes you just have to kind of take a step back and try to think about something that you like about yourself, something that you like about your skin. It can be anything, something you like about your personality, something you like, just anything. And I feel like that's kind of something you have to sometimes remind yourself to do, because I just feel like there's a lot of comparison going on and a lot of just people being hard on themselves, and myself included. So that's something else I don't know, I'm just thinking out loud. All right, now I'm gonna use the Dior brow styler to kind of outline my brows. Honestly, if I had my NYX micro brow, I would be using that for this video, because that is my all-time favorite, and I'm very grateful that that one is really good and it doesn't cost so much money. I love this one too, it's just very expensive. I feel like brow products are just one of those things that are very easily found at the drugstore that are just as good, Okay, I've literally been sitting here for 20 minutes trying to perfect my eyebrows. Sometimes I have days like that where I'm just never satisfied with them. Just keep going over them over and over and over. Another product that I love for so many reasons, but mainly because it just makes me feel really good when I use it, and it's the Hollywood Flawless Filter. I know I talk about it all the time, but it's just one of my favorite things in the whole world. This is the shade number 2. And today I want to be like real glowy, so today I'm going to put this all over my face. And I'm going to use a sponge to blend this in. You already know what's coming next if you watch my videos. I'm going to go in with Corrector. I am probably the most thankful for Corrector because they help all of us with darkness under our eyes, and this is my all-time favorite. It's Bobbi Brown. There is a very terrible rumor that this is being discontinued, and I can't figure it out. I need to message Bobbi Brown on Instagram or something and see if they'll respond and tell me if this is being discontinued, because I am not gonna be okay if it is. Okay, I'm just gonna tap this out with a brush. But yeah, I want you to, if you're watching this video now or at the end, whenever you want, comment below with something that you are thankful for. And it can be whatever you want. It can be makeup related, it can be literally anything you want. It can be food, it can be family, it can be just anything in life that you're thankful for. Comment it down below. I want to read everything that y'all are thankful for. Let's move on to foundation. There were a few that I was kind of going between for this. So these are just foundations that every time I use them, I just feel really good. They just make me feel really pretty and put together, and I just enjoy using them. And they're both from Dior, the Dior Backstage Face and Body and the Dior Forever Skin Glow. I love them both on their own, but my favorite thing to do with these is to mix a little bit of both together. I have both of them in the shade 1.5 Neutral. So the Face and Body is, I would say, more of a natural finish. It's not, definitely wouldn't call it glowy, but it's not really matte either. It's just kind of in between. And then the Forever Skin Glow is obviously pretty glowy, but the two of them together, so good. Okay, and then I'm gonna mix them together with my foundation brush, which I'm always thankful for a good foundation brush because this can make all the difference. Your tools that you use, it doesn't even have to be a brush, but your tools can make a very, very big difference in how your makeup looks. And this is one of my 2 all-time favorite foundation brushes. It's BK Beauty 106. It never lets me down. It's my favorite size for foundation. It always applies beautifully. You can buff with it. You can really stipple to get more coverage with it. It's a really good one. I actually wore this foundation combo to the wedding I went to a few weeks ago. I wore like half Face and Body from Dior and then half the Forever Skin Glow, and it looks so pretty in pictures. I really liked it. So I'm taking a little bit more over the cheek area, which is where I need a little bit more coverage. I would say both of these foundations are a solid medium coverage. Neither of them I would call like full coverage. You can definitely build them up a little bit, but I definitely feel like they're both just a good solid medium. I just went over my face a good bit with my sponge. And I still want to get a little more coverage here. I think I picked up a good bit of it because I went in kind of hard with my sponge. But we're going to use concealer now. And the concealer that I still a favorite. I know I've been loving the One Size concealer, and I do love that one, but my all-time favorite still remains the Hourglass Vanish concealer. I just love this. I love how it applies. I love this color on me, and this was like the first concealer that I can truly say I fell in love with. Like everything about it, the coverage, the color, how it looks on my face. I just love it. Then I'm gonna start blending with my same foundation brush that we used. Something else that kind of goes along with what I said earlier about we tend to pick ourselves apart sometimes and just constantly like look for things about ourselves that we don't like. It's just important to me to kind of put the message out there that there's always something about yourself that you can find some kind of joy or happiness in, some kind of gratitude. And it's sad, but sometimes gratitude takes effort. You know what I mean? Like you almost have to, when you feel yourself starting to like think negatively or have like some kind of negative thought about yourself, you have to almost like say to yourself right then, like, no, I'm not going to sit here and pick myself apart and say like, oh, you know, I'm breaking out, my skin looks horrible, or I didn't eat very healthy today, I haven't lost the weight I want to lose, I haven't, like just constantly, I could go on and on. There's so many different things. But I feel like it's just important to stop and just find something you like about yourself. Find something that you're grateful for. For bronzer, I'm going to use a cream and a powder bronzer. I don't know, I might just use cream, but the one I've been just loving every single time I use it, and it just makes me feel really good, is the Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpt Shaping Stick. And this is the shade Light. And I like to use my foundation brush and start back here at my temple, right above my cheekbone, basically. And then kind of stipple inward. I feel like this color on me just works really, really well with my skin tone. This is the shade Light. Okay, so I'm just kind of applying this lightly on my face, and I'm also going to bring some on my jawline. For a blush, this was pretty easy because I just love this product. Every time I use it, I just love how it looks, and it's the Patrick Ta Blush Duo, and I love all the colors, but my absolute favorite is She's That Girl, which is this really pretty pink. And I almost brought out the blush palette, his new one, because I love that one too, but this was the one I fell in love with first and definitely started my love affair with his blushes, or with his brand really. So I am going to do powder first. It's so funny to me now how obsessed I am with blush. Because I used to would never wear it because I was so worried about the fact that I had rosy cheeks anyway. And now like I can't get enough of it. So that's kind of what I was talking about earlier, is everyone has things about themselves that, you know, they don't feel super great about. Everybody, even people you think like have all this self-confidence and they're not like worried about anything, you're wrong. I'm telling you, everybody has something about themselves that they're a little self-conscious about. And for me, it's always been the redness in my cheeks. All right, now I'm going to take my sponge and go into the cream, and we're going to bounce that on over the powder. I mean, look at that. I can't. It is a lot, but I don't mind it. I love it. If you don't have one of these blush duos, I'm telling you, at some point when you want to buy a new blush, you need one of these. You'll be so happy you got it, I promise. It's so funny. Now I'm like obsessed with blush, but there was a time in my life where I wouldn't even discuss wearing blush because I had the natural like redness in my cheeks, and I used to think that was such a bad thing, and now I like that about myself. Do you know what I mean? I pulled out this NARS Laguna bronzer, and I am very thankful for this because this was my very first high-end bronzer that I ever had from Sephora, and I just loved it. I was so proud that I had it, and every time I see this bronzer, that's what I think of. So I'm gonna take some, and we're just gonna go over where we put the cream bronzer. For powder, I pulled out this one. This is the Kosas Cloud Set powder. This powder has made me, like, ever since I got it, it's kind of turned me into more of a powder person. Because there for a while, I just was not really a powder kind of person. I feel like it was because I just never had a powder that I really, really liked how it looked on me until this year, and I actually found a few of them. This is just one of the powders, but I really enjoy this, and it's kind of the first one I tried in a long time that kind of made me rethink how I was thinking about powder. So I'm gonna go over my T-zone and then under my blush and bronzer. And this powder is also really nice under your eyes. Okay, we're gonna move on to the eyes now, and favorite primer to this day is still NARS. What is this? Pro Prime, I think, tinted eyeshadow base. It's just good. I'm telling you, if you want an eyeshadow primer and you haven't found one that you just love, I would definitely recommend this one from NARS, especially if you have a good bit of like discoloration on your lids that you want to cover up, because that's kind of my issue with some eyeshadow primers that are more like translucent looking, is those work well in terms of like priming for shadow sometimes, but usually they still leave your eyelids like with veins poking through and all that, which is fine if you don't mind that, but I personally kind of like to even out my eyelids and prime my eyes for eyeshadow, because number one, it keeps the shadow on longer, number two, it makes it apply better in my opinion, and number three, it keeps it from creasing. So I'm just setting the eyelids now with a little bit of the Kosas powder. And okay, for eyeshadow, if you know which palette I picked already, comment it down below, because some of you probably already know which palette, but this was a no-brainer, to be honest. I have a lot of palettes that I love, but there's one that has spoken to me since the first time I ever saw it, and it still does to this day, and it's the Patrick Ta palette. I know I'm a broken record, but this palette just, I don't even know exactly what it is. I don't know if it's the colors. I don't know if it's the like formula. It's just all of the above. It's just so good. I love it so much. Okay, we're gonna go into this shade right here, which is the matte light brown, the transition shade. This is like the perfect crease shade, in my opinion. It has just enough color that you can see it, but it's very, very neutral. It doesn't pull like super warm or super cool. It's so good. So I'm putting this all over, or not all over, but where my crease would be, and kind of dragging it out just a little bit. Like, I love this palette so much that if something happened to it, like I lost it or I dropped it and broke all the shadows, hopefully, please don't let me break this palette. But if I did, I would go out to Sephora right then and buy another one. That's how much I love it. I mean, it's just never, I will never be without it. I'm gonna go into this shade next. So this is a really interesting shade. It's like a light warm brown, but it has shimmer to it, but it's not like a glitter. It's just like a matte shadow with a little bit of a sheen to it. It's very interesting. I really like it though. And I'm gonna use that same brush I was using before, and this is the 202 from BK Beauty. I'm gonna go over, or basically put this where I can feel the crease in my eye. And I'm not gonna like blend it up a lot or blend it down. I'm just kind of concentrating it right there. Now I'm gonna go into this shade, which is another matte. This is kind of a pinky toned brown. And we're gonna put this on the outer corner and just blend it up slightly. All right, next I'm gonna take the dark brown matte shadow down here. He does have these creams in here too. I didn't use the creams today, but I love them also. The whole palette is just good. So I'm taking a smaller little eyeshadow brush, and I'm basically trying to keep my eye open and kind of place the color down like you can see it there. And then once I've kind of got it laid down, I'm gonna close my eye a little. So see how that just kind of placed it down there, and then we'll go and blend it a little bit. All right, now I'm gonna go back into that first transition shade that we used. And I'm gonna use a really big fluffy brush. This is the BK Beauty 201. And I'm gonna hold my brush out really, really far. And I'm just gonna do light little circles all around the edges, just to diffuse everything together. Now, what should we do? I always struggle with this because there's so many colors in here that I love. I think what I'm gonna do is take the shimmery white right here. This is such an interesting shade. It's kind of like a cream. It's not a white white, it's like a creamy white with shimmer in it. I'm gonna take it on this really, really big shader brush from Sigma. And I'm just basically gonna tap it all over the lid and then kind of bring it up into that crease area, like almost up into the brow. I want to take just a little bit of this shade. I don't use this. This is probably the shade I use the least, and it's this shimmery chocolate brown. This one is shimmery, but it's not those big like flecks of glitter like the topper shades have. But I just want to add a little bit of this to the outer corner. Okay, and now I was going to use that bronzy topper, but I think I'm going to take this pink. This is such a pretty color. This is what makes your eyelid literally look wet. And to me, it applies the best with your finger. But look at this. And I'm bringing it up really, really far. That is so pretty. And then, okay, on the inner corner, I'm going to use the white shimmer. And I'm going to put this in the inner corner and kind of pull it up. Yes, it has a lot of glitter, but I don't care. I love it. I'm going to go back over one more time. If you're really worried about the glitter with this palette, you can always just do your eyes first or use like a glitter glue or something, but it doesn't bother me. I'm going to take Transition again, and I'm going to put this all along the lower lash line. And then I'm going to take just one tap in the matte dark brown. We're gonna put that on the outer corner. I do want to try to use just a little bit of eyeliner, even though I don't really think we need it, but this pencil is something that I just love and adore so much. You know what it is, I'm sure. The classic eye powder pencil from Charlotte Tilbury. And I'm gonna put this all along the top lash line, and I'm actually bringing it in just a little bit further than I normally do. And then I'm gonna take my absolute favorite winged eyeliner brush. This is the 208 from BK Beauty. It's so tiny. This has made my life so much easier since I discovered this, because you can truly, especially if you have more of a hooded eye, it just makes pulling liner out to make a wing so much easier, so much easier. Okay, this is a brand new product to me. Like, I've had it for like a little over a week, but it's already making it into this video because I don't have anything that works as well as this, and it's the Makeup by Mario Master Pro, I think it's the Master Pro Pigment pencil in the shade Perfect Brown. And I like it on my top lash line. I just wanted to use the eye powder today because I love that one too. But this, what really blew me away about it is that this pencil actually stays in your waterline. Like, it actually does. I've never used an eyeliner that I could confidently say stays in your waterline and isn't gone within like 10 minutes. But this one truly does. I can't believe it, but it's true. For mascara, so there were a few that I wanted to choose for this. One of them that I was kind of going between for this step is the Lash Blast from CoverGirl. I really, really love this. So, so good from the drugstore, and I mean, it's like $6 or $7 and it's really good. But for this video, I'm thinking I might use a little bit of this because this is the first high-end mascara that I tried and I just loved it. And it just reminds me of when I first started really getting into makeup, and it's Benefit Roller Lash. I've talked about this a bunch of times, but I really do love it. I think it's so separating and lengthening, and I really love it. So I kind of want to use that, but then I'm also thinking about applying a few of these trio lashes. I've really been getting into applying a few of these like in my outer corner, and I've been trying to do it a little more often so I can get better at it, hopefully. So I'm gonna go in with Roller Lash first. So I did the Roller Lash, and now I am gonna do some of these trios because, like I said, I'm trying to get better at it, and I feel like the only way I'm gonna improve is to just keep doing them. So that's what I am going to do. I usually just like to apply a few on the outer corner. I just find that I like this type of lash better on me than like a whole strip lash. I don't know why. Something about these I like better on my eyes. I'm gonna start on the eye that is easier, which is my right one. And I'm just gonna do probably 2 of them on this outer corner. I'll tell you what one of the biggest keys to these lash trios is, or really just individual lashes in general, is to get a fresh, clean pair of tweezers. Make sure there's nothing like sticky or nothing on the tweezer, because the idea is you need something really clean that's not going to stick on to your lashes, so the minute you put it down and drop it, the lash will drop. Because before, when I've tried to do this, I used an older pair of tweezers, and you know, tweezers kind of, especially if you use them a lot, they get kind of warped and just not fresh and clean. And whenever I started using a newer pair, that made such a big difference. Okay, so I did those 2. I think those look pretty good, but I'm going to get a new pack and do the other side. Okay, last for lips. This was hard because I have a lot of lip products and I have a lot of them that I really love, but one of them that's been a favorite for a very long time is Charlotte Tilbury Iconic Nude and the Wherever Walnut from Makeup Forever. This one's a little more pink. Iconic Nude is obviously more of a brownie nude, but I love them both. I might use just a little bit of both so you can see. It's just a really good nude to have, and the Charlotte Tilbury lip liners are so good. I have not found a lip liner from the drugstore like that I think is a dupe for these from Charlotte Tilbury. Now there are some that the colors are similar, but it's the formula of Charlotte Tilbury that I think makes hers different. And then I'm gonna use Wherever Walnut. This one is really good too. It's just more pink. Okay, and then for lipstick, again, there were a few of these that I was like, oh, I love that one, but I also love that, but I also love this. But one that I knew I had to mention is this one. This is JK Magic from Charlotte Tilbury. It's the prettiest peachy nude. Oh, and it looks so good with those two lip liners. I love it. And then, okay, another one I had to mention, we're just mixing a ton of things today, is this Lawless lipstick in the shade Platinum. Really, I like all of the shades of these that I have, but this one is a really light nude. And I like to put this just in the very center of really any lip combo, and it kind of lightens it up a little bit. And then I can take a lip brush and kind of blend it together. Love it so much. Okay, and then the gloss was honestly a very easy choice for me. My favorite gloss of all time, it just makes me, using it makes me happy, is the Dior Lip Maximizer, and this is 001. Because I'm a gloss person. And that is going to be it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I know it was just kind of all over the place, but I really want to focus on being thankful for the next month. I mean, we should be thankful all the time, but just this month with my videos that I'm putting out, I just want to use the makeup that I have and the makeup that I love that makes me happy. And all of these things, when I see them, when I use them, they always make me happy and just feel grateful. So like I said earlier, comment down below something that you're grateful for, whether it's a makeup product, whether it's a favorite food that you have, something that happened to you this week, something, anything that you want, makeup related or not. I would love to hear from you. So comment it down below. Thank you so much for being here and supporting my channel. Something that I am so grateful for is my YouTube channel and all of you that take time out of your day to sit and watch my videos. It really does mean so much to me, more than I can really express with words, but that is something that I'm always thankful for every day, is that we have built this small little community and it makes me so happy. So let us know in the comments what you're grateful for, and make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. I hope you'll subscribe if you have not already, and follow me on Instagram at simply.blair. I will see you guys in my next video. Remember, simply be you. Bye. Sunday